SpaceX Starship. What's inside? Elon Musk, we're pretty sure you've heard his name. And if not, then where have you been living? Elon Musk is an entrepreneur, industrial designer, CEO of Tesla Motors, and a guy who stops at nothing. Today in this video, we're going to look into his latest venture, SpaceX Starship, and what's inside this enormous ship. But before we begin, make sure you've subscribed to the channel and press the bell icon for notifications of new uploads so that you don't miss out on our videos. Before venturing into this structure, internally and externally, let's find out what is this Starship. SpaceX Starship SN8 is a fully reusable Starship that's in development as of now, under SpaceX. SN8 is a spacecraft that shortly could carry you to Mars. That's right, Mars, the red planet. With this visionary and ambitious spacecraft, about 100 people will be traveling to Mars in a period of 7 months and can be brought back too if needed. The early development of this spacecraft began in 2012 and took its first ever test flight on December 9, 2020, which was termed successful but exploded moments after it landed. Before looking into the insides of the ship, let's talk about the external structure. This giant and shiny spaceship is about 50 meters or 160 feet high, with a diameter of 9 meters or 30 feet. Its gross mass is about 1,320 tons or just under 3 million pounds, with a propellant mass of about 1,200 tons or 2.6 million pounds, which in simple words is super heavy. It has a payload capacity of 100 tons or more. Each launch of the ship costs $2 million or more. Now, I use the word shiny here. Why? Well, it's used because of the shiny exterior of the spaceship. This is because the SpaceX Starship is made of stainless steel rather than the standard material of carbon fiber that's normally used. The reason for this? It's as simple as stainless steel being much more affordable and cheaper as compared to carbon fiber. Stainless steel is cheap and fast, as quoted by Musk, which means that stainless steel can help the spacecraft travel to Mars in a period as short as 7 months. Other than the expense, one other reason to use stainless steel instead of carbon fiber was the melting point of stainless steel. Stainless steel can sustain its strength at a much higher temperature as compared to carbon fiber. This means that stainless steel can sustain up to 1600 Fahrenheit or more with ease, which is a lot compared to the tolerance of carbon fiber that's around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, let's move on to the inside of the ship. The nose of the ship has a pointed shape at the end, with Musk comedically referencing it to the joke from the 2012 film The Dictator, where a similar pointy shape was used to strike into the enemy's heart. The uppermost of the ship is referred to as the crew deck and viewing gallery. Hold up! The seats in the crew deck are arranged circularly and are not for the general population, but for the special crew members like the launch team and science officers to sit in. When not in use, the seats fold to the ground and the whole crew deck area transforms into a ginormous viewing gallery. And the best part about it? The giant panels on the wall open up to show a giant and panoramic view of the stars and endless space through the large windows. This would be a sight to behold, and you don't even need to worry about the windows. They're stronger than the steel itself, so you're going to be safe, pal. Moving to the second phase of the ship, we come across a gym area or multi-purpose to keep the travelers fit and active during the long and tiresome journey. This multi-purpose area is massive and filled with all types of equipment to help you fight boredom. The area also has large windows to keep you entertained even when you're on the road to fitness. The seats in this area are pretty similar to the seats in the crew deck, as they also fold to the floor. But here, these seats will round a whole corner of the multi-purpose area, from favorite games to musical activities, with the magnificent backdrop of space. Going further down, the third part of the ship we reach is the first-class sleeping area of the ship. In this area of the ship, a total of 5 groups of cabins are present, with each group consisting of 4 cabins. These cabins might look similar to the sleeping capsules we come across on the internet. These cabins are 2,100 millimeters long and wide, providing easy space inside. What's even better is that there are windows inside each cabin. They can even be 5 or 6 people per cabin, but that might make it too crowded. So if we keep in mind 1 person per cabin, 20 people can fit into the sleeping area. Moving down further, passing through the mess area, we reach the radiation shelter area. This radiation shelter area is built in case of an emergency to protect the passengers from any sort of damage due to radiation exposure. You see, beneath this area will be the restrooms. In the center of all these sections is going to be a central hatch or elevator-esque area, that will allow movement between the rest of the parts of the SpaceX Starship. Beneath this all, we reach the tank area where two tanks are placed. First, the liquid methane tank, and then the liquid oxygen tank downward. For several reasons, there will be a layer of liquid oxygen or water surrounding the spacecraft. Now the question is, why liquid oxygen and methane? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It contributes to the spacecraft being less heavy, as liquid oxygen and liquid methane are less dense rather than the commonly used hydrogen, which is quite dense and hence contributes to the overall mass of the spaceship. These two huge tanks filled with liquid oxygen and liquid methane weigh more than 1,400 tons. Other than that, using liquid oxygen and hydrogen is much more convenient when you're launching a reusable Starship, you know. After this, we move upwards and towards the tanks that are present in the uppermost part of the nose of the ship. This area contains a separate tank for liquid oxygen, as well as liquid methane, which are used only when the spacecraft is in the final stages of its landing, so that the Raptor engines keep working. 6 SpaceX Raptors are used on this Starship, so it's likely that this extra stash would be needed. All of this amazing and visionary description is just from the concept art and a video that was released by the man himself on Twitter. There's still more to come out of this engineering masterpiece, and we honestly can't wait to find out how all those developments are going to be. Well, that's all we know about the SpaceX Starship. For more informative videos, make sure you press the bell icon and subscribe to our channel, so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded.